Welcome to the Pulsating Biology, where we were covering the topic the immunity and the disease for O-levels biology. We have already discussed about the kinds of diseases that basically takes place in the human body, for example, transmissible disease and the non-transmissible disease. Let's have an overlook on the transmissible disease that we have discussed in the detail in the previous video. So the transmissible disease is basically the diseases that can be transferred from one person to basically another, and in the transmissible disease you need to understand that what kind of contacts basically can cause the diseases to be transmitted. For example, an indirect contact. One form is the direct contact. The direct contact is something that the person comes in contact with the another person, due to which the disease is basically transmitted. But sometimes the disease is transmitted indirectly, and what are the circumstances that can cause the disease to be transmitted? We are going to discuss about that. In the indirect contact, the first foremost cause is, for example, the from the animals. And from the animals, I'm going to give you an example of let's say a hen. Since we human beings are very fond of chicken, so whenever we slaughter the hen, and let's say that hen has certain bacteria in that in itself. So whenever we slaughter that bacteria and cut the pieces of the hen on our for example on our chicken board, so whenever on the cutting board the hen is being slaughtered and the pieces are being done, and then we basically place the chicken on the another counter. Now on the same cutting board, we are going to cut the salad or the cucumber. Since we eat the cucumber, or we can say that we eat the salad raw, therefore the bacteria that were present of the hen on the cutting board, on the similar cutting board we are cutting the cucumbers this time, are going to be interacted with this kind of the indirect contact. Now from the cutting board, the bacteria that were present in the hen are transferred onto the cucumber that you are going to eat in the raw form, and that is going to go into your body. In such a manner, the bacteria on the cutting board from the hen is transmitted to your body. The other example, that is a very common example, let's say from air. The people are very prone nowadays because of the pollution to, let's say, cough and for example sneezing. So a person sneezes or cough in the air, and the diseases that are born from the air are termed as the airborne diseases. So the cough and the sneezing basically ultimately is in the air, therefore we say that they causes an indirect contact of that person causing that disease to another person that is present in the similar environment or the similar area of the air. And so he can come in contact with the bacteria, so from the airborne particles of cough or sneezing, that can cause him being a vector of that disease. These are the very common examples, the animals and from the air, when the person comes in indirect contact with the disease and becomes a victim of it. Now let's talk about the bacteria that enter into our body. Have to go through certain barriers, and what are the barriers that are present in our body that prevent the entry of the pathogen? Let's recall what are pathogens. The pathogens are basically those particles that causes the diseases, diseases. So in order to protect our body from certain diseases, we are designed in such a manner that the barriers are present in certain points of our body. Let's discuss them one by one. The first and the foremost barrier that is present on the largest organ of our body is the skin. So on the upper layer of the skin, we say that there is a presence of epidermis, which is a dead layer. Therefore, it does not allow any bacteria or any dust particles or any kind of particles that harms our body or that can harm our body to enter. This is the first barrier of the defense. Secondly, we can say that the hair that are present in our nose. Sometimes what happens is that the person is suffering from certain kind of infection or the viral infection, because due to which his nose is blocked. So what happens in that manner, that the person who is breathing through his mouth, certain people, even if they are not going through any infection, they are mostly prone to basically inhale to their mouth. They are inhaling through their mouth even when they are sleeping. So what happens in those kind of people, they are usually prone to other kinds of the barriers. So here in nose are not probably affected in all of the organisms. So basically, what does the function of the hair in the nose consist of? They are basically functions as filtering out all of the bacteria, and does not allow any harmful bacteria to basically pass through the larynx and the pharynx. Next, the third barrier that we're going to talk about is the mucus. Mucus is present in our trachea, and this mucus is a thick layer that does not allow and basically traps all the harmful particles into itself. Lastly, where the barrier basically ends is the stomach. In the stomach, several substances or several acids are present, and acids are the most best form in order to kill the bacteria. So, in the stomach, there are certain acids are formed. Let's say, for example, HCl or any kind of acid that basically kills the bacteria. If the bacteria by any chance has passed all of these barriers and have reached to the stage of the stomach, there from the stomach it cannot pass further, as the acids are going to kill the bacteria ultimately. Since we live in such an environment where we are very prone to getting all these infections and all these diseases, therefore we are designed by our Lord in such a manner that we have certain barriers in ourselves that are present in the skin, in our nose, in mucus, and even in the stomach. So for example, if any infection has been caused and has passed through major of their barriers in the stomach, it cannot go further since it consists of a certain acid that kills the bacteria. So these are the important barriers that basically prevents the entry of the pathogen and protects our body from all sorts of the diseases. So in this video, we are done with how basically the pathogens works and how it enters in our body and how our body can protect itself from the barriers that are provided to us by basically naturally. Here's the end to this video. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.